I'm listening to nearly 100 albums from the year 1955, and I just finished listening to Helen Merrill with Strings, released on MRC. Second studio album from Helen Merrill. Again, I was a huge fan of her self titled debut record, a very lauded and popular vocal jazz record from the 1950s, from the mid 1950s. And this record, I did not have super high expectations of going in because these with strings records are not particular favorites of mine oftentimes. But it's funny, I think in some ways there are aspects of this record that I like more than the debut. I don't like it as a whole more than the first Helen Merrill record personally. I think a lot of the best tracks or most interesting tracks for me are at the beginning of this piece. But I do think this setting here really brings out the best in her voice. Like, on the self titled record, it felt to me like Merrill was carried by the ensemble a little bit, but here it feels like she is a natural fit over these strings and these beds of really interesting arrangements, too. These are not the same kind of bland strings that you heard on like the Clifford Brown record from that year. These are very interesting and very lively arrangements that push her in interesting ways, but she seems very, more than up to the task. Certainly, Lilac Wine to open the record is a real highlight. Mountain High, Valley Low is maybe my favorite on here. I just think the arrangement on that track is really superb. Her voice is, it has a bit of like a lower register to it, but it's not husky in a June Christie sort of way or in like a Julie London sort of way. There's still a little bit of lightness to it, and that balance I think works really well. Again, it's a bit Chet Baker like. It's not necessarily like the most professional vocal styling you've ever heard. There's a little bit of an innocence to it that I think comes through and makes her voice seem very approachable, I would say. So I don't know. I really like this record. Again, not as much as the self titled record, just because I think the ensemble there makes it. But this is one of the better with strings records that I've heard in a long time. And certainly worth noting if you're interested in Helen Merrill at all. I'm really interested to explore her catalog and see what she does from here. Helen Merrill with Strings. Really good record. Really, really good record. Worth your time for sure.